Have you ever felt watched? Ever wondered why the new gadget you were just talking about suddenly appears in your advertisements? It's not a coincidence. It's the unseen eyes of social media, perpetually observing, tracking, and analyzing us. Let's delve into the unnerving reality of the digital age, where our every move is monitored, our every click recorded, our every preference cataloged. Welcome to a world where the concept of privacy is being continually redefined, where our personal lives aren't so personal anymore. The social media platforms we use daily, the apps we can't live without, are the culprits, silently gathering data about us, about you. Imagine a scenario where every conversation you have, every location you visit, every online search you conduct, even the most trivial ones, are being tracked and recorded. Sounds like a dystopian novel, right? But this is the reality we're living in. It's happening right now. The depth and extent of this data tracking are staggering. It's not just about what we post, who we follow, or what we like. It goes beyond that, delving into our interests, behaviors, and even our thoughts, predicted through complex algorithms. Why should this concern you? Because this information, your information, is being used in ways you may not even realize. It's being sold to advertisers, used to manipulate your decisions, and even influence your behavior. And the worst part, most of us aren't even aware of it. We unknowingly give away our privacy, one click, one like, one share at a time. We trade our privacy for convenience without fully understanding the implications. Let's face it, social media isn't just about connecting with friends anymore. It's about big data, about businesses knowing more about us than our closest friends do. We are living in a world where our most private conversations aren't private anymore. So what can we do about it? Stick around as we go deeper into this digital rabbit hole. So, you might ask, how does this happen? How does our personal information get into the hands of these tech giants? Well, it all begins with something as simple as cookies. No, not those delicious chocolate chip ones, but digital cookies that track your online activities. Each time you visit a website, cookies are sent to your device to record your behavior, preferences, and sometimes even personal information. Social media platforms utilize these cookies to collect data about your interests, which is then used to personalize your online experience. Now, let's take it up a notch with location tracking. Ever wondered how you get those restaurant recommendations when you're out and about? That's your social media platform tracking your location through your mobile device and serving you tailored ads based on where you are. And then there's the data you willingly provide. Every time you fill out your profile, like a post or even use a reaction emoji, you're giving these platforms more insight into who you are, what you like, and how you behave. This data is then used to build a digital profile, a virtual you, that advertisers can target. Let's bring this home with a real-life anecdote. Ever had a conversation about a specific product only to later see ads for that exact item on your social media feed? That's no coincidence. That's your social media platform listening in on your conversations through your device's microphone and serving you ads based on what you talk about. But it doesn't stop there. Ever noticed how the ads you see on social media seem to eerily know what you've been searching for on other websites? That's because social media platforms also track your activity across other sites and apps, painting a comprehensive picture of your online behavior. In short, our every click, every search, and every like is being monitored. But what is the real cost of this invasion of privacy? We live in a world where our every click, every post, and every like is tracked, analyzed, and stored. This vast amount of data, while seemingly innocuous, can paint an incredibly detailed picture of who we are, what we do, and what we believe in. Now, let's delve into the potential risks and consequences of this data misuse. One of the most immediate risks is identity theft. With just a few pieces of personal data, cybercriminals can impersonate us, gaining access to our financial resources, personal information, and even our social connections. But the costs go beyond the financial. This constant surveillance can also lead to manipulation. Companies can use our data to influence our decisions, from what products we buy to who we vote for. They can tailor their messages based on our likes, dislikes, and even our fears, subtly steering us towards their desired outcome. And the consequences don't stop there. The erosion of personal freedom is perhaps the most insidious cost of this invasion of privacy. When we know we're being watched, we start to self-censor. We become less likely to express controversial opinions or engage in unconventional behavior, leading to a homogenized society where individuality is stifled. We've seen the effects of this in authoritarian regimes where surveillance is used to control and suppress dissent. But we're now seeing similar patterns in supposedly free societies where corporations hold the reins of our data. The cost of this invasion of privacy is high. It's not just about targeted ads or personalized recommendations. It's about our identity, our freedom, and our ability to make independent decisions. In the end, we must ask ourselves, is convenience worth giving up our privacy? Is the ease of a digital life worth the potential risks and consequences? These are questions we must grapple with as we navigate this digital age. Our data, our identity, is at risk. Now the million-dollar question, how can we protect ourselves in this digital age? Well, the good news is we're not completely defenseless. There are practical steps we can take to fortify our digital walls. Let's dive into some of these methods. First, consider using a virtual private network, commonly known as a VPN. A VPN is a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online by creating an encrypted tunnel for your data, hiding your IP address, and enabling you to use the internet more privately and securely. It's like having a private highway on the internet away from prying eyes. Next, let's talk about privacy settings. They aren't just there for decoration. Regularly updating your privacy settings on social media platforms and other online accounts is akin to changing the locks on your doors. It's an essential part of maintaining your online safety. Be sure to review these settings regularly and understand what each setting does. The less information you give access to, the less there is to be spied on. Now, onto something we often overlook. Being mindful of what we share online. It's easy to get lost in the moment and share every detail of our lives, but remember, once it's online, it's there forever. A harmless post about your favorite coffee shop might reveal more than you think. So think twice before you share. Finally, let's not forget about strong, unique passwords. It might seem like a hassle to remember a complex string of characters, but it's a small price to pay for added security. Consider using a password manager to keep track of your passwords, and remember, don't use the same password for multiple accounts. In conclusion, protecting ourselves in this digital age is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of being conscious and vigilant about our online activities. It might seem daunting, but each small step we take is a stride toward a safer digital future. Remember, the key to our digital safety lies in our own hands. So, what does the future hold for our privacy? As we hurtle headlong into the digital age, this question becomes increasingly significant. Our data, our personal information, our very identities are at stake. And so, it's essential that we look ahead, that we anticipate the challenges and opportunities that lie before us. In the future, we may see more comprehensive legislation aimed at protecting our privacy. Governments around the world are starting to recognize the importance of data privacy, and we're seeing a trend towards stricter regulations. For instance, the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe has set a precedent, and it's likely that other regions will follow suit. But laws and regulations are only part of the solution. Technology, the very thing that has brought us to this precipice, may also be our salvation. Innovations are already underway to enhance our privacy. Encryption technologies, blockchain, and decentralized systems are some of the potential solutions that come to mind. These technologies can provide us with more control over our personal information, making it harder for prying eyes to access it. But let's not forget, the onus is on us as well. It's our responsibility to protect our own privacy. We need to stay informed, to understand the implications of the digital footprint we leave behind. We need to make conscious choices about the information we share, the apps we use, the permissions we grant. And so, as we venture into this brave new world, let's arm ourselves with knowledge and vigilance. Let's demand transparency from the companies that hold our data. Let's support the technologies that protect our privacy. Let's hold our governments accountable for the laws they enact. As we step further into the digital age, the battle for our privacy continues. But remember, it's not just a battle against the unseen forces that seek to exploit our data. It's a battle for control, for autonomy, for the right to our own identities in this increasingly interconnected world.